Kid Brothers is a family farm in the Merthorpe area. There's been 4 generations on the farm now, starting with my great-grandfather. And it's been a mixed farm all along. Primarily we're focused on cattle and grains now.
We will keep about 350 cows. We will background the calves off of those. In the past 20 years we've pursued some of the new technologies that come along, and we find that there's probably not a lot of new technologies, but what there is combinations. The swath grazing was one of these. Swath grazing itself has been around since the early 60s, but what really made it work was the fencers that have become available. One of these things that'll control cattle well, and so in the last 15 years we've pursued this swath grazing for winter feeding considerable, and we find that it's one of the things that's really working for us.
The Triticale project that we're involved with West Central Forage and with Alberta beef producers, we have wintered primarily dry cows, wintering cows on it. When the cows had to go into the yard for calving, we have gone and cleaned up what was left with our backgrounded calves and found that that also worked well for us. The palatability of the Triticale has not been an issue for us whatsoever. They've just tied into that and eaten Triticale as well as any of the other swath grazing that we've grown. No preference to that over oats, barley, wheat. We've used mixes, different mixes over the years. And when we do go out, if we go out and we put a bale of hay out and we give them a new stretch of swath grazing, they'll leave the hay and they'll go to the new swath grazing. We've grown a mixture of spring and winter Triticale. We've grown them separately and we've mixed them. They certainly did like both winter and spring trit and the mix. We've been focusing on more the spring Triticale. The winter Triticale has established well, but we're finding that it just doesn't winter well with the pressure we've put on it with our winter grazing. I think if you managed the winter trit as winter trit and grazed it properly for the way winter trit should be grazed, I think there's some potential there. But in our system, what we've been doing, we're finding the spring Triticale is working better for us.
The winter trit was, they liked it. They were willing to go back and pool table that area there, and they just polished her right off, and they would go back and go back and go back. The spring trit works well as they like it. They clean it up good and do well on it.
The crop keeps its quality quite well over the winter. We haven't had any issue with quality degradation throughout the winter. Once it gets to spring and it starts to warm up, the snow starts to melt, we have had some issues then with it. It keeps its feed quality not bad, but the palatability seems to go downhill on it.
With regard to any molds or funguses that might potentially exist, we haven't had a problem with it. They go in there and clean her up, and to the best of our knowledge, if it's there, it certainly hasn't created a concern.